Hi, in this video I'm going to be highlighting how to build a virtual machine using Microsoft Hyper-V. To start off with, from Server Manager, you're going to want to make sure that you launch Hyper-V Manager. To do this, you go to Tools, Hyper-V Manager. From here, you will get access to the Hyper-V Manager and the machine where Hyper-V is installed. In this example, it's installed on Lab 9 C5HE2. That is the name of my machine. Next, to build a virtual machine, I simply click New, Virtual Machine. This launches the Before You Begin wizard, and it tells you a couple of helpful hints to have a successful virtual machine built. For the most part, I recommend that you read up on this on your own, and we're just going to go through this short tutorial. Next, New Virtual Machine. This really depends on your naming schema for your organization, your company, or your project. In this case, I'm going to name it after the type of operating system I am installing. For this example, I'm going to be installing a Linux Mint distribution. So I'm going to name this virtual machine Linux Mint. The location of the virtual machine defaults to C, Program Data, Microsoft, Windows, Hyper-V. Now we can move this if we had access to different drives, but let's take a quick look at our folder structure to make sure that this file path exists. We have 127 gigabytes of data available. So we see C, program data. Notice how there's no program data here. That's because program data is a hidden folder. Let's go ahead and enable hidden items. We now see program data. Microsoft, Windows, Hyper-V. As you see, there's a bunch of different folders here, all related to Hyper-V virtual machines. Now again, this is just the name in the virtual machine configuration. Let's minimize and proceed forward. Generation 1 is going to mostly fit our purposes. It is recommended if you're doing in production, I would go over to Generation 2. But since we're learning, I would say, yeah, why not? Let's go to Generation 2. Assign memory. This depends on the type of OS you're trying to install. In this case, we're doing Linux Mint. Linux Mint shouldn't take all that much memory. There's 32 gigabytes of memory available to the Hyper-V host here. So I should be able to assign up to 32 gigabytes of memory to one virtual machine. I'm not going to do that because that will cause issues. A good base start for memory would be 4096, which equates to 4 gigabytes. 4096 megabytes is equivalent to 4 gigabytes. We're going to leave unchecked. We're going to uncheck use dynamic memory, basically allowing the memory to grow and lessen as needed. Configuring networking, we're going to default to the Microsoft Hyper-V Network Adapter Virtual Switch. This should suffice for now. If we need to make adjustments later, we certainly could do so. Connect to virtual hard disk. This is where we create a virtual hard disk. Since we have limited space on this, we're going to want to make sure that we size these appropriately. I'm going to do, for this example, 30 gigabytes, which should be more than enough for Linux Mint to run. Also note the location of this is going to be C, Program Data, Microsoft, Windows, Virtual Hard Disks. C, whoops, sorry about that. C, Program Data, Microsoft, Windows, Virtual Hard Disk. C, Program Data, Microsoft, Windows, Virtual Hard Disk. So when I create this virtual machine, it's going to put the virtual hard disk within this area. Next is key. We can pick install an operating system later, install an operating system from a bootable image or an ISO file, or install an operating system from network-based installation. we're going to always default to this radial button right here. But in order to do this, we actually have to have an ISO file that we've already previously downloaded. I'm going to pause the video while I go get Linux Mint. Okay, didn't want to waste time browsing to the Linux Mint site, but here we go. We're going to go ahead and download Linux Mint. I'm going to click the download button. We're going to get Cinnamon Edition, download. You'll notice that it's 2.9 gigabytes. It's going to ask me to do a torrent download. And that's not going to work because torrents are stupid and we don't have a torrent client. However, let's go get a torrent client for cases where we can't get around this. Never mind. Scrolling down, I went ahead and I went to advancedhosters.com and I clicked on this link to download an ISO. Now, since this is from the Linux Mint distribution site, we're going to be okay. Always be careful of the links to external sites. Make sure you want to verify that it is an actual valid distribution. A couple years back, Linux Mint did get hacked, and as a result, people were downloading hacked versions of Linux Mint and didn't even realize it. This being a lab class, I'm not too concerned with that, but prior to production, you want to make sure you validate the integrity, which is outside of the scope of this video. Now that I have my Linux Mint ISO downloaded, I can start finishing my virtual machine. I know that sounds kind of funny, start finishing, but that's what we're doing. So, I'm going to locate my installation media, which should be in my downloads area. Next, it tells it's loaded, we're going to click Finish. It's now setting up the virtual machine, should power it on, and start the installation of the operating system. I'm going to close out my web browser now. It hasn't powered on the virtual machine. Some cases it will, other cases it will not. In this case it did not. I'm going to simply connect into this virtual machine to kick off the installation process. I double click on the Linux Mint icon right here, or the window. I now click Start, and with any luck, we should start booting from that ISO image. So sadly, we didn't have any luck in this case, but this happens from time to time. Let's go ahead and see if we can make sure that our ISO is mounted. It is. Let's send a Control-Alt-Delete. And it's still not booting. It looks like it's defaulting to a PXE over IPv4, which is a network boot. Let's stop the virtual machine for now. Let's go ahead and validate the settings are set up to boot to that ISO. We see we have the ISO mounted, ready to go. So let's investigate what else could possibly be the problem. With no apparent reason as to why it's not booting directly from the ISO that we downloaded, I'm going to want to take a look at a couple different things. First, let's start off at the firmware. The firmware is equivalent to the BIOS in a physical machine. It looks like it wants to default to the DVD drive, which is good. That is what we want. Next is the network adapter, and final is the hard drive. I'm going to move the network adapter down on the list, just for fun. I'm going to click Apply. Secure Boot Enabled is a feature to basically make sure that unauthorized code does not run on boot time. We could disable this. I'm going to do that now. We don't really need that for our purposes. Now, with all those settings, I'm going to go ahead and restart the virtual machine. And now we're able to boot to the Linux Mint. So it's most likely the secure boot configuration preventing because it was templated for Windows and it wasn't recognizing. That's okay. Now that we have the menu to start booting to Linux Mint and installing, we certainly can proceed forward. Now, every operating system is different, but the basic steps to get an operating system loaded onto the virtual machine is pretty much all the same. Again, in this case, we're installing Linux Mint. I'm going to proceed forward by just hitting enter here. I'm going to go ahead and pause the video while the installation is going. It shouldn't take that long, and we'll pick back up as soon as I reach a point where I have to provide user input. Okay, with this particular distribution of Linux, it booted to what's called a live CD. It allows me to interact with the operating system, but not fully install it onto a machine. We're going to want to fully install this operating system onto the virtual machine. Now, I'm not entirely sure on how to do this. I haven't installed Linux Mint in quite a while, but if I was a bet man, I would bet on install Linux Mint here. So if I were to double click this, let's see what happens. Okay, after a brief moment, we get a welcome install screen. I'm going ahead and blast through this wizard, click continue. I obviously want to proceed in English, English US, that sounds good to me. Proceeding forward. And again, this is all dependent on what type of operating your system you're installing. Multimedia codecs, I'm going to go ahead and click that. That's to play different video formats. Erase the disk and install Linux Mint. Absolutely. Now remember, we're doing this on a virtual machine, right? So it's going to go through, it's going to format this hard drive of the virtual machine. So let's go ahead and just install now. It's going to want us to validate what we're doing, which we are. We're installing 2 different partitions on a 30 gigabyte disk. Click continue. That seems to be a good time zone for me. And let's pick a username. I'm just going to do Jesse. My password, I'm going to leave as Jesse. It's telling me this password is too short, but I'm hoping that it allows me to go through. I'm going to pick login automatically. This might be a bad idea if you don't know what your password is. Please note your passwords and your username because you'll need them later. It is allowing me to proceed with a short password. That's one of the cool things about most distributions of Linux. It'll tell you you're doing wrong, but you can keep on going forward. I'm going to briefly pause the video while the install completes. It shouldn't take all that long. Okay, I now got the installation is finished message. It's asking me if I want to continue testing or restart now. I'm going to go ahead and click restart now. So it's asking us to remove the installation media. Fair enough, we could certainly do that. Media, DVD drive. It looks like it's already there. We're going to eject it. We're going to go ahead and just click within the virtual machine here. And any moment now it should give me welcome to Linux Mint. I'm going to just go ahead and close out. And my installation is now complete. If I click on this terminal, I have access to my Linux Mint virtual machine. I can now open up a web browser, even though it looks like the web browser might not be fully connected. We can mess with that later. But for now, this virtual machine is up and running. Every virtual machine is different, so we have to make sure that we take into account all the little differences between OSs and set things up properly.